Hi. This last year, my aunt and uncle moved into assisted living, and they were letting things be passed down, some of their extra things. And so I inherited this little goblet, which they're not absolutely sure whether it was my grandfather, who was a Lutheran minister, or my great-great-grandfather, who was also a minister. So this may go back to the 1800s. I haven't looked up the marks on the bottom that would say when it was created, but I treasure it. Lutherans treasure Holy Communion. We believe there is more happening than just remembrance, more than just simple thinking. We actually believe that Christ is present with us when we commune and has gifts to give us. Although the interesting thing about Lutherans is we don't claim to have any understanding how it works. We just understand that Christ is present. So for us and for Christian groups around the world, Holy Communion is extremely special. And tonight, Thursday night, Maundy Thursday, is the night that we celebrate the first time Christ gave the bread and wine to the disciples, saying, "This is my body, this is my blood shed for you." So very, very special. Maundy Thursday always has been. But we are looking at the Gospel of John, and even though the Gospel of John has the longest, I mean, we're talking chapters long, reporting on the Last Supper, John doesn't mention Holy Communion. Can you believe that? But what he does talk about is foot washing. Jesus washes Peter's feet gently, and Peter, of course, he doesn't want anything to do with that. He thinks he should be washing Jesus's feet. But Jesus then makes a connection. He says, okay, just as I have washed your feet, so you should wash one another's feet. And there are churches that have a tradition of foot washing, just like we Lutherans have, tradition about the bread and the wine. Now, I've offered foot washing multiple times, and I just haven't had members of the church that interested in it. Yeah. Now, an interesting thing, though, in the Lutheran Church, so Jesus was saying, take care of each other, show love to one another. That's what the foot washing was all about. Tender love, compassion for each other. Interesting. Even though Lutherans are very centered on Holy Communion and baptism, we have two sacraments. Roman Catholics have 7. Martin Luther and the other reformers went down to 2 because they could only see that Jesus commanded baptism and Holy Communion. But you know what? He also commanded either foot washing or the care of each other, care for each other. And at the time of the founding of our Lutheran way of life, there was deep discussion about the possibility of having a third sacrament in the Lutheran Church: baptism, Holy Communion, and mutual consolation of the brethren. In other words, listening to each other, forgiving each other, came this close to being a sacrament in the Lutheran Church. And even if we don't call it a sacrament, it still has a deep message for us. Yeah. So John, once again, a little bit different, talks about foot washing instead of Holy Communion. But have a good Maundy, Thursday, wherever you celebrate.